Now, amid the escalating conflict, there was high drama at the United Nations Security Council. The U.S. has effectively stopped the United Nations from recognizing Palestine as a state. On Thursday, it voted against a Palestinian request to the UN Security Council for its full membership.
I shall now put the draft resolution to the vote. Will those in favor of the draft resolution contained in document S/2024/312 please raise their hand? The result of the vote is as follows: 12 votes in favor, 1 vote against, 2 abstentions. The draft resolution has not been adopted owing to the negative vote of a permanent member of the Council.
While the United States did in fact veto the resolution, the 2 abstentions came from the United Kingdom and Switzerland. Now, to pass the resolution, the 15-member council needed at least 9 votes in favor and no veto from the 5 permanent members, the United States, Russia, China, Britain, and France. Palestine is currently a non-member observer state, and the UN General Assembly in 2012 granted it a de facto recognition of statehood. But Palestinians want a state in the West Bank, East Jerusalem, and Gaza Strip. And Washington had been hoping to avoid the use of its veto power against the resolution. In fact, before the vote, the U.S. mission reportedly tried to convince some council members to abstain to mitigate Washington's isolation on the issue. The reason being, the United States believed the state of Palestine should be established through direct negotiations between Israel and the Palestinian authorities, and not through a UN resolution.
The United States voted no on this Security Council resolution. Again, the United States continues to strongly support a 2-state solution. This vote does not reflect opposition to Palestinian statehood, but instead is an acknowledgement that it will only come from direct negotiations between the parties.
Now, as was expected, Israel had praised the United States for casting the veto. In a post on the social media platform X, Foreign Minister Israel Katz said that terrorism by Hamas fighters should not be rewarded with statehood.
I wish to begin by thanking the United States, and particularly President Biden, for standing up for truth and morality in the face of hypocrisy and politics. Yet, regardless of the Palestinians' failure to meet the necessary criteria for UN membership, most of you, sadly, decided to reward Palestinian terror with Palestinian state. I pray that the day will come and you will understand the magnitude of the mistake that you are making here. I pray that you will understand before it's too late.
Meanwhile, Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas has called the United States veto unfair, unethical, and unjustified.
Our right to self-determination has never once been subject to bargaining or negotiation. Our right to self-determination is a natural right, a historic right, a legal right, a right to live in our homeland Palestine as an independent state that is free and that is sovereign. The people of Palestine will not disappear. We will not disappear. The people of Palestine will not be buried. They are a historical fact. They are a history that cannot be erased, no matter the great power, no matter the tyranny.
Now, Russia also lambasted the veto, launching a scathing attack directly at the United States, saying Washington used its veto power to further Israel's interests.
Our American colleagues think differently, having used veto for the 5th time since the beginning of the escalation in Gaza. They have again demonstrated their true attitude towards the Palestinians. To Washington, they don't deserve to have their own state. They are only an obstacle to the realization of Israel's interests. That's why the United States is ready to turn a blind eye to Israel's crimes against civilians in Gaza until the last moment.
Egypt said it regretted the inability of the UN Security Council to enable Palestine's full membership. Now, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres noted that the recent escalations in the region make it even more important to find a solution between Israel and the independent Palestine.
The Middle East is on a knife edge. Recent escalations make it even more important to support good faith efforts to find lasting peace between Israel and a fully independent, viable and sovereign Palestinian state. Failure to make progress towards a two-state solution will only increase volatility and risk for hundreds of millions of people across the region who will continue to live under the constant threat of violence.
Now, Palestine's push for full UN membership comes 6 months into Israel's war against Hamas in Gaza, and the conflict has killed close to 34,000 Palestinians so far, displaced millions, and has pushed the Gaza Strip into a severe humanitarian crisis. From impeachments to inaugurations, if it's a political story, we are on the scene. The race for the White House is heating up.
We're beating Biden.
How dare he say that?
If it's breaking news, we're live with the latest coverage. From the White House, the State Department, and Capitol Hill, we know the issues, but above all, we know the players to bring you the latest in-depth analysis on all the key stories that we're covering. I'm Eric Ham. Join me from Washington here on Firstpost America.